I am on my way to give my menstrual blood back to the earth and to my plants.
Really? Why? Just seriously, why? Interesting. But on the other hand, if men stopped dating women just for their looks, then there'd be a lot more single women out there. I've been hearing a lot of individuals say that misandry is nothing but a response to misogyny. So what they're essentially saying is that there are some women out there that simply don't know any better, or apparently have any sort of moral compass. Because since whenever did two wrongs make a right?
A woman's main embarrassment will always be a man.
Interesting. And while I can see where some of them are coming from in regards to this, it seems that some women have their priorities all wrong in regards to what they really should be embarrassed about. Some of their attitudes, which seem to be overly entitled in many cases with an overly diluted sense of grandeur.
Men will deny this, but they're lying when they say they want peace.
Okay then, what do they really want?
They love selfish, independent, unbothered women that are difficult and stress them out.
No, they don't. That's just what those types of women tell themselves so they can justify their own poor behaviors.
Women that are too nice and predictable don't give them enough to worry about.
And those are the types of women that actually find healthy relationships.
I don't think women should be allowed to own dogs over 50 pounds. And the reason is like, they just do not have an ability to say no to them and give them negative reinforcement when they are behaving badly and behaving aggressively, right?
What? They can't be serious.
These women with pit bulls like that, and I just walk the other way. I'm like, you do not have the strength to control that dog.
What deluded planet does this person live on?
I know for a fact you have never ever put your dog, you've never corrected it, and you've only just given it what it wants, and you ruin dogs. So I don't think women should be allowed to own dogs that are over 50 pounds.
You know, not every thought should be an outside thought. And on today's episode of Seeking Attention, Validation, and Approval from Random Strangers on the Internet, we have an individual who's being not so subtly sexist towards male doctors and could have just saved everyone a whole lot of time by doing a little research before going to the appointment and verified who their doctor was and what their gender happened to be. But I understand that would have actually taken a little bit of forethought. But I really do hope they keep that same energy for women who perform vasectomies.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
At the end of the day, men don't value kindness. They don't value it internally.
Says who? Oh, that's right. Some of the women out there with the strongest opinions about men, yet seem to know the least about them.
They don't see you as a person.
Well, that's really ironic, considering the amount of content out there made by some women that is actually trying to dehumanize men. You're saying that men don't see women as people? Well, what exactly are you guilty of?
Their end goal is to violate you. Their end goal is not to protect you and give you love and all these things that you're projecting onto the relationship as a woman.
I really hope that a lot of individuals that happen to have opinions like this really get the help that they obviously need if they think that that's how most men think of relationships with women.
I don't feel sorry that you're broke.
And I don't feel sorry for the willfully uninformed. So where does that leave us?
You're broke because you choose to be broke.
Tell that to the thousands, if not millions, of people that are actually unable to work and see how that goes.
This life, we get what we settle for. If you're not making the money that you want to make, it's your fault.
Wow.
So you can either keep complaining that you're barely making any money, that you hate your boss, you hate your life, or you can do something about it. Don't complain to me because I don't feel sorry for you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of an elitist mentality who does not understand that there are some people out there that actually physically cannot go to work. There are no jobs in the areas in which they live, or they're unable to move. But they tend to conceal information like that in books.
Oh, but I was falsely accused and it ruined my life. Prove it. I need you to prove it to me with hardcore, undeniable evidence.
Well, on that note, let's take a look at someone's very own video that actually gives the perfect answer to that more than I could.
Because they don't have to prove to you. You are a nobody. No one gives a about what you believe. You weren't there and your opinion and beliefs are irrelevant. So shut your mouth if you're gonna sit here and discredit victims.
Very well put. Because if a person would actually take the time to think about it, someone who would be falsely accused of something could, in fact, be considered to be a victim as well. But it does seem that there are certain individuals out there that only seem inclined to believe victims when it comes to certain circumstances and are not taking into consideration the victims of other circumstances, which is unfortunate because a victim is still a victim. But I guess that some only want to believe victims when it suits their cause.
A lot of these modern women, they say this type of silly stuff like, may the best man win and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of these men out here, especially after a certain point in time, you know, kind of accepting the fact. Because a lot of times men do realize, hey, this ain't going anywhere. She's not really serious. She don't really want anything with me.
Whatever someone has to tell themselves to get through the day, I guess. But I've been wondering, where does this idea come from? Because it certainly doesn't come from anyone with, well, a working knowledge of actual human beings or who has ever actually encountered anyone with a healthy mindset and good self-esteem. Because as a single person myself who is single by choice, I know lots of men who are very happy being single and they choose to remain that way. But I'm beginning to believe that a lot of these women out there are just so self-absorbed that they can't possibly imagine a world where men don't want to be with them. So they have to convince themselves that men are never single by choice because that make themselves feel better. Because oftentimes people with low self-esteem, that's how they have to feel better. They have to put others down.
I love how people in my comment sections are always like, watch out guys, she's a misandrist, she's saying some very misandrist things. Okay, and what about it?
Well, after all, misandrists are bigots, and I personally would be wary of anyone who had bigoted outlooks.
I genuinely believe that the worst, most diabolical misandrist could never compare to the average misogynist, which is of course the average man.
It appears they don't have much faith in women, do they? Because there are some really nasty women out there that do very terrible things to males simply because they are males. But the fact that someone actually believes that the average man is a misogynist really does say a lot about how uninformed a lot of individuals truly are.
Like, baby, did you forget that misandry only exists because of misogyny?
Sadly, there are those out there that will try to convince others that one form of hatred only exists because of another.
It's literally a reaction to misogyny. Without misogyny, misandry is not a thing.
The sad part is they actually believe that.
Misandry hurts people's feelings, but misogyny actually kills. Remember that.
What a person really should remember is that bigots will always try to justify their outlooks, no matter how irrational. Excuse me, but what? Everyone, read that very carefully. And the fact that that was actually even a suggestion, in my opinion, is absolutely beyond ridiculous. We may have actually now reached that point. In fact, we drove right past it, of no return when it comes to absolute lunacy. Because please do explain to me, as well as millions of other women who have been female for our entire lives, who have gone through the difficulties of childhood, the struggles of adolescence as girls, and have finally matured into fully grown adult women, have to learn about what it is like being a woman and how to be a woman from someone who is going to be in need of a prostate exam. Please explain to me how an individual such as that is a subject matter expert in that particular department. I'm sure that we're all looking forward to the explanation.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Well, what a very fitting song for a certain individual that I could mention. And I could also mention that that very same person was the exact one that stated that women who were over 160 pounds were all overweight. Not even take into consideration any extenuating factors such as how tall that person is or how much muscle mass that individual woman might possess, which would make her heavier than the average woman her size. But then again, that would have involved actual thinking on someone's part. And thinking in regards to making this type of content usually doesn't go hand in hand. But I do understand that this type of content does get a lot of views. But however, it also does give a good impression of that person's character, and it's not leaving a very good impression. And while I do agree that being overweight is something to be avoided, name-calling is something else that should be avoided as well.
All men cheat. Every single one of them.
No, They actually don't. But I wonder if we use the same logic against women and generalize them like we generalize men. Since a lot of women also cheat, we could say the same that all women cheat, right? Oh, but that probably wouldn't go over very well.
Any woman who cannot accept that, any woman and even man who is still walking around here saying, not all men, they're dumb, they're stupid, they're developmentally delayed.
Actually, those particular descriptions would not apply to those that think rationally. Instead, I can think of those of whom that description would be much more fitting.
If women sit here and accept the fact that all men cheat, you're not all that special, you're not all that great, she is no longer going to have a sense of worthiness, a sense of validation, because her whole identity is rooted in if a man is going to stay faithful to her or not.
This might come as a complete shock, but there are some things that I think some out there need to hear. Not only do not all men cheat, but not every woman places all of their value on whether a man chooses to be with them or not. There is more to life than being in a relationship.
You know, pursuing modern women nowadays is it's too much work. It's too much work, man. You have to play around too much. You don't really know if they like you until probably 8 months in. But men don't even want to go that far. It's not worth it. Juice just isn't worth the squeeze. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these ladies are nice, but the way you're acting, it just doesn't seem like you're nice. It just doesn't seem like you want to get to know me. And when a man is kind of stuck in limbo, trying to figure out what you're trying to do, it's no wonder he decides, let me go with what's tangible.
I genuinely do not understand some women, and the way in which they seem to think absolutely baffles me. Perhaps they have difficulties in communication, which is ironic considering that a lot of women say that women are best at communication, but it really seems that some out there have this rather large difficulty in using these very simple, very easy to use things called words to actually communicate what they really mean. But here's a hint for you ladies that like this type of video and indeed make this type of video. If you don't want to pay, don't offer to pay. There, solve that little problem for you. Because most men are going to take you at your word that you have no problem at all paying for whatever activity it is you are engaging in. But most importantly, ladies, men are not mind readers. If you want them to know what you mean, you have to say it. Just consider this a very relaxed public service announcement, as I don't feel like getting up out of my chair. So, for all of those that don't like my content, did you know that you have the power in your hands not to watch it? You don't have to. I've never asked that everyone agree with everything that I have to say. It's okay to disagree on things. And I would also like to point out that sending me interesting and occasionally nasty direct messages is not going to get me to change the type of content that I do, nor will calling me names. My new favorite one is bird. Yes, I get called a bird on a fairly regular basis. But let me ask any of you, specifically the ones that do that haven't already been adults enough to block me, do you really think that's going to get me to change? And if so, all I have to say is, that's cute.
Men will literally be like, I'm fighting battles no one knows about. All the time it's just thoughts.
And believe it or not, even after seeing that, there are still some out there that wonder why the majority of men genuinely choose not to share their thoughts and their innermost, deepest feelings with another person, especially with a woman. Because contrary to what many out there might be thinking, it is usually not men that would make that sort of a joke or downplay a man's mental health or their possible inner turmoils. They are more apt oftentimes to listen to another man if he's going through a struggle. But the ones that are most likely to make a joke are the ones that have been called the most empathetic of the two genders. And that would fall to some women out there. Because in my opinion, some women frankly don't see other men as people. They don't even see them as human beings. And that is unfortunate.
It's wild to me that men think that we view them as our equal.
Who exactly is this we? And who would be so arrogant to speak for and on behalf of all women?
Or that we give a fuck about their opinion. Or that we even want to hear them talk.
I mean, that sentiment could apply to a great many people.
Because no woman I know who has any shred of self-respect views a man as her equal.
It kind of makes a person question the types of women that some choose to associate with.
A woman gives no fucks about a man's opinion on her clothes, on her career choices, on her marriage choices, or whether or not she has children.
Well, in case this is new information, those individuals out there that are truly strong and independent-minded don't actually care what other people think at all, whether they be men or women.
The only women who give a f what a man has to say are the ones with no self-respect.
Really? Well, what I've noticed is when a person has to resort to shaming tactics in order to try to get their point across, they really don't have one.
Are you a woman? No. So your opinion on women's issues means nothing to me.
The irony is these are some of the same women that will care about a man's opinion as long as it agrees with theirs.
And you can scream into the void as much as you want. I'm not going to listen to you because the entire premise of men's opinions is oppression. That's all they want, is to oppress women.
It's quite entertaining when someone tries to speak on what all men want, yet refuses to actually listen to anything that they have to say. Anyone notice the problem there?
You know, a lot of these modern women are wondering why men have decided to stay to themselves, right? But you have to understand, when I got to spend a boatload of money just to say hello to you, yeah, that's going to make me want to stop talking to you altogether.
There's no such thing as misandry, and I refuse to ever take that term seriously.
It's absolutely amazing to me that there are still individuals out there, specifically at this point in time, actually still in denial that one particular type of bigotry doesn't exist. Because let's be very clear, misandry is a form of bigotry.
At this point, it might as well be reverse racism or heterophobia.
Ah, yes. I'm really glad they brought that up, because those are also forms of bigotry. However, I would like to clarify, it isn't reverse racism, it's just racism. You know, despising someone based on the color of their skin. That's what racism actually is.
Let's start with the fact that the only reason that the term misandrist was even popularized was so that men could have a gotcha towards women when we're talking about misogyny.
Interesting. And even if that was the case, I would like to point out that it describes a form of hatred against a specific group of people, and I might add, based on a characteristic that they have no control over. So what exactly is not worth taking seriously about hatred against a group of people? But I understand it's much easier to dismiss it if you don't like talking about it.
This is just a PSA that I could never be married to a man that sleeps in.
Why? Would it be such a bad thing if a gentleman actually got some rest?
I could never be married to a man that sleeps in and sleeps in longer than I do, and neither should you.
I always find these sorts of videos rather enlightening because it tells you a lot about the type of person that would say that, because they apparently don't see their partner as a person that deserves to take time for themselves, because instead of sleeping in, as was in the descriptor of that video, they should be up building a shed at 7 a.m. But let me remind a lot of you that agree with this lady's statement that if a man said this, that would be a whole different story, wouldn't it? It wouldn't go over so well. Because if a guy said that a woman should not be sleeping in, that she should be up cleaning the house, making breakfast, or any other number of various tasks, they would be going after him in droves. But as long as a woman says it about a man, well, that's okay. And some even consider it to be funny.
I used to think men, because they were raised, I'm starting to believe as the parent of a little boy that they all start out like and they have to be raised out of it.
Really? It sounds like someone has not done a very good job as a parent thus far, especially if they're talking like that about their own child.
My 6-year-old son, oh my God, he's been on one lately. He's been having a really hard time with a lot of stuff. Fine, whatever.
Okay, does anyone see the problem yet?
I looked at him and I was like, what is going on? What's the problem? This boy leans back and goes, I'm just so sad that Granny died. That's my grandma. He kicked his sister in the face and then blamed it on being sad that my grandma 2 months ago.
Oh dear. There really does seem to be quite a large problem with a lot of women out there that seem to lack the ability to take any form of accountability for any of their actual responsibilities. Because ultimately, whose fault really was that reactions? Was it the little boy? Or was it the parent who had the responsibility of teaching their child how to express their emotions in an acceptable manner? Let's really think about that one for a moment.
You should not feel guilty about lying to women, and I'm here to tell you exactly why. Women don't give a shit. They don't want the truth. What women want is comforting lies. They want to be emotionally manipulated, and women, for the most part, end up with the guy who is the best at emotionally manipulating her and manipulating her perceptions of reality. You are doing a woman a favor if she ends up in your life. If you're using a little bit of manipulation to benefit her in the long run, it's better than her falling for the manipulation of some piece of shit and her going off with him instead.
Yeah, no person, whether it's a man or a woman, wants to be intentionally lied to or manipulated. That's being dishonest. No one deserves that. Don't put up with that.
You know, these modern women, it's not ignorance, it's just you're not applying it in the right context, right? Like, say for instance, if a man does something, maybe he's working, and he don't text back. Oh, he's avoidant. You can't really trust this guy, right? And they make a big deal about it. They'll fool around. Obviously, they're gonna text a group. Obviously, they're gonna text anybody and everybody who they know. They're gonna blow up your phone. They're gonna tell TikTok you're a terrible person. But when you look at what she's doing, she don't text back for a few hours. Oh, I'm just maintaining healthy boundaries. You're doing the same thing that I am, but for some reason, I'm wrong about it. I'm the one that's toxic. I'm the one that's avoided. How the heck does that make sense?
The reason you can't view women as human beings is because you think human beings are like men. As a man, you think they're equal.
No, dearie. We are equal. However, there are some out there that like to display that they're not quite up to the same level in the intelligence department.
You think they think like you. You think they see reality how you see reality. And so you have to stop thinking about them as human beings.
Kind of makes a person wonder, what is the next step if you don't think of women as human beings?
When you treat them from a male perspective, they hate you.
As they say, who hurt this guy?
You have to treat them like an entirely different species, like an alien, emotionally based, illogical, don't want facts. 1 + 1 is 49. That is how they perceive reality.
Well, the truth of the matter is that I, along with a lot of other individuals, to include other women as well as men, have no problem at all with the true perception of reality. For example, I know that everything that they just said is a load of bollocks. And if anyone actually wants to take his advice, you will remain single.
All right, so I said this on several occasions and I'm going to keep saying it.
Well, another individual that seems to think that if they repeat something often enough, it will become true.
Women, especially white women with their ugly washed up asses, are not the prize.
Ooh, so angry. But if someone would know about not being the prize, well, speaks the voice of experience.
Women are bums. Women are bills. Women are property.
Property? Oh dear. I wonder what country they live in. But their accent tells me probably somewhere in North America. But no, women haven't been property there for years. But I wonder what other intelligent things they have to say.
Women are freeloaders. Women are stupid.
Not all of us, dearie, but I certainly can recognize that quality in others.
Women are annoying. I don't see them as nothing but scum on the bottom of my shoe.
For those that are curious, what you have just seen is an example of an actual misogynist. Yes, they really do still exist and behave like that. And moreover, apparently, they really like hearing themselves talk. Well, I don't think I've seen a better example of a slap in the face to all those individuals that worked for years for women to be seen as equals to men in modern society. I mean, that almost takes the cake, really. Ironically, that very statement is the same one that was used and is still used today in many parts of the world to justify not treating women as equals to men, because there's biological differences. I think most of us are very much aware that there are biological differences between women and men. But what exactly is the overall goal here in regards to making a statement as that? Do some women not want to be treated as equals to men? What's the purpose of making that statement? Because it seems that a lot of women out there seem to want to not be treated as equals to men, but they in fact want to be treated as better than men. They want all of the rights, but none of the responsibilities, which is really sad. But again, I'm just going to say that that initial statement was just a slap in the face to all of those people that worked so hard for years to get women to be seen as equals.
I don't know what man needs to hear this, but going to the park or going for a walk is not a date.
Why not? Why isn't it a date? A date, after all, is two people spending time together, getting to know each other. So why are those things not considered to be dates?
And if you don't have the money to take a girl out on a date, or you have the money and you just don't feel like she's worth it, then just don't ask her or just don't date.
It seems there are a lot of very confused women out there that seem to think that the amount of money that a guy spends on a date is equivalent to how interested he is. That couldn't be further from the case. Sometimes a guy just wants to see what type of personality a woman has, and you don't need to spend a lot of money to do that. In fact, sometimes that's the best way.
But going to the park is not a date. Like, what has gotten into you guys? Like, a date is... I shouldn't even have to explain myself.
Well, the good news is someone doesn't seem to be able to, because if they actually did put into words what a date is, there's no actual requirement at all on how much money someone has to spend.
And there's going to be a lot of modern women out there that talk about how men don't approach and how men don't go up and talk to women in the wild and start conversations, stuff like that. But a lot of times that's because, you might have a man that might look at you and smile, or look at you and nod in a coffee shop or even at a gas station, right? I don't think there's any harm in that, because that's just what people do. People just speak. Walking down the street today, I didn't know a brother, didn't know a couple of people that I seen today. Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up? What's going on? What's up? Hey, how you doing? And keep on going. But modern women today, they don't even give you that courtesy. They sit up and say something stupid like, I'm not going to say hi to him. He better pay for my groceries before I say hi to him. And that's why you're not getting people that want to take you seriously. Because a man says hi to you, he might see you in a coffee shop. Hey, how's it going? The next thing he knows, he's a predator. He's somehow become the world's biggest creep. And he's all over TikTok. Who would want?
More of you girls need to start acting your weight. You heard that correctly. Act your weight. Because if you are 160 pounds, I don't want to see any attitude. I want you to be giving all that attitude to the treadmill.
Isn't that nice? However, it seems that we already have some acting like their IQ.
Give it to your nutritionist. Give it to that Pilates class, which is basically stretching because, look at you.
Oh, isn't that just charming?
How are you? You're going to give a skinny girl attitude when you're fat.
It's always been my opinion, but someone who lives in a glass house really shouldn't throw stones.
Here's the thing. This is like the hot, crazy matrix, but it applies to girl. If you're fat, I don't want to see any attitude.
I often wonder how individuals who lack critical thinking skills get attitudes, but apparently you've just seen another demonstration.
If you're going to give me attitude, you better be skinny. You better be 115 pounds to come for me.
Well, a lot of individuals not realize that it's not what the person looks like on the outside that matters in regards to what their intellect contains. Apparently not.
Actually, wait, more people need to hear that. That is the tough truth.
And more people need to hear that they probably aren't qualified to get into conversation with a lot of other people.
But a lot of are not acting your weight, clearly not pulling your weight in any way, shape, or form, or workout class or anything. But start pulling your weight, start acting your weight, girl. Bye. XOXO.
Some individuals will put anything out there on the internet for attention, and then they'll probably be upset when it backfires. As a follow-up to one of my recent videos, I have received a lot of comments from a wide variety of individuals that are actually of the opinion that based on a person's gender, a person should not be allowed to be a certain kind of doctor. Specifically, they don't think that men should be allowed to be gynecologists or breast doctors. And I really have to ask, why? Wouldn't it just be so much simpler if you weren't comfortable going to a male provider to choose a female one, instead of trying to actually have the audacity to tell someone what they're allowed to do with their chosen career? I mean, seriously, you want to take away people's rights to be able to choose their chosen profession, in addition to limiting the number of doctors available, specifically for those who do not feel uncomfortable going to a male provider. And that goes for men that see women providers as well. If you're comfortable with them, then that's perfectly fine. If you're not, then go see a male provider. It's really not that difficult. But the amount of individuals out there that say certain individuals based on their gender shouldn't be allowed to be in certain professions is absolutely disturbing on so many levels. And that's all I really have to say.
Genuinely keep that to yourself. Like, I don't want to see you crying. I don't want to see you sad.
There's a very important question that needs to be asked here. Is this just rage bait? Or is someone finally being honest about how a lot of women feel about men sharing their emotions with them?
I cannot stand when a guy comes up to me and tries to tell me his feelings and open up to me.
I'm just waiting for them to say, man up.
Like, the guys will literally open up to me and be like, so this is what happened in my past. Baby, I actually don't care. Like, whenever a guy tells me about his past, I genuinely associate that with him wanting to be done dirty.
Now, I know some of you are going to say that this is very unrealistic. However, there is a large portion of men that actually have to deal with this very type of behavior every single day.
Like, you're willingly telling me everything that, all your trauma, like I am shiesty. I'm going to use that against you. I'm going to use that in you against an argument. Don't tell me about your issue, because I will use that. You're never going to go a day, a night, an hour, a second without hearing your worst memory, because you told me that.
If this is rage bait, it is very good and very on point, because this is exactly what happens to a lot of men out there, and it is why they tend to keep their emotions and feelings to themselves.
I need y'all's advice.
I believe that.
Just came across the guy I've been dating on Are We Dating the Same Guy? And apparently he's had 2 other girlfriends the entire time we've been dating.
Dating. Okay. So was there ever a promise of exclusivity in the beginning of this dating relationship? Because that's rather important, but I have a feeling that that does not matter.
And I'm just curious if you guys think I should share his picture here and ruin his life.
I think that someone seriously needs to find a different hobby other than social media. It's amazing how social media has actually empowered so many individuals to attempt to ruin someone's life over something like they're dating someone else at the same time. There are real problems in this world, but I guess we don't want to talk about that now, do we?
Because I definitely feel like I have the ability to do so, given my following. And I know he's shaking in his boots because he texted me the other day asking if I've ever posted him on social media. I am very tempted to ruin his life because it would not be hard. I know I could go viral because y'all would share and like and follow as long as we have this app. And, you know, I'm just feeling extremely jaded.
That much is incredibly obvious, and apparently we have reached the point where social media is used for nothing more than airing our dirty laundry and trying to ruin the lives of someone over a dating disagreement. Some individuals really need to grow up.
You also have to look at another issue where you have a lot of guys out here are hearing, I deserve a man who does X, Y, and Z. The problem with that is that a lot of women, man, they can barely figure out who they are. You know, their life is not really together. They know, kind of what they want because they see it on TV, but they're not really where they need to be honest. And we can go from, well, this is where I want to be, because there's a lot of people that want to be here, a lot of different places, but we're just talking about where you need to be in order to get a man that you're wanting, or that honestly and truly, once again, that you need. A lot of modern women are not there. You're not even halfway there. There's a lot of stuff that you need to do before you even come close to needing to starting to talk to a man that you actually need. This is stuff that you actually need. We're not even talking about the stuff that you want. Practice? Talking about practice, man.
Can we talk about when a guy makes a girl pay, or he doesn't open the door for her, or he's just not being a gentleman?
Sure. Let's talk about that.
He's like, well, you wanted equality. Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
No. The guy in this scenario is not the one suffering from that particular problem.
We wanted equal rights, like women should be able to vote and stuff. What? That's literally it.
Along with equal rights comes equal responsibilities. But I guess some women don't want to be treated as equals. They still want to be treated as less than men, so that they are deserving of being catered to. So some women didn't want equality at all.
No one asked to pay for anything. No one asked to open their own doors or carry their own suitcases. Don't be manipulative like that. That's crazy.
What's crazy is that some don't understand what the word manipulative means, because many women actually fought to be treated as equals to men. And yeah, that actually sometimes entails paying for your own food.
Don't flip it on us like that. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? We wanted to be able to speak and have a voice and get jobs if we wanted to. But please, that argument is so crazy to me. It's really funny. I'm like, aw, you're stupid.
It's always cute when, after saying such interesting things, that someone would still think that they're the smartest person in the room.
Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, guys.
So far, so good.
I'm kidding, that's a joke.
Never mind.
I think it is very weird, the concept of this Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which is not a real holiday.
Okay then. But doesn't that text across the screen just broadcast great things to come?
Then why the don't women have a mental health month? I don't see no Women's Mental Health Month.
Where's this going? Because somehow I don't think it's about equality.
I think it is very weird that the concept of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is basically meant to make us women feel bad. Make us feel bad that your guys' mental health is
What exactly would lead a person to that conclusion? Well, maybe they have something to feel bad for, but it's amazing how many individuals actually try to make things that are really about others all about themselves.
Everyone's mental health is important, but it's weird that the concept of this month is meant to prove to women that, we don't give a about you guys. We are not your mothers, okay?
Yeah, that is not what Men's Mental Health Month is about. It is actually about recognizing some of the unique struggles that men actually are going through all across the world, trying to maintain and in some cases regain their mental health. But some women out there think that it's about trying to make women feel bad for how they treat men. Well, in some cases, if the shoe fits, wear it, but it's not always about you.
I'm going to tell you what makes you unattractive to women, and you're not going to like it.
I know I always appreciate a man's perspective on what a woman finds unattractive.
It's having female friends. If you have female friends, what you're doing is you're sending a message out to other women who might be interested in you that you have a bunch of women who are not interested in you, that they just want to be friends with you.
Is that what a woman thinks? I'm so glad someone was there to finally tell me.
It shows that you've been friend-zoned a lot.
Or it means that that man is capable of having platonic relationships with women, which is very much appreciated.
Any guy that is a very successful guy that's successful with women, he doesn't have female friends.
Successful how? Because all that showing when a man has no woman friends is that they don't seem to be able to have a relationship with a woman that they're not attracted to.
Instead, he has girls that he's hooking up with, or he has girls that he's dating, or he has girls that he sees sometimes. And it's very clear they're not friends. They're more like F-buddies.
Anyone else wondering if this might be just a case of projection?
So if you have a bunch of female friends, it's a huge red flag. It's a pre-selector that tells women that other women have already friend-zoned you, so they should friend-zone you as well.
The bigger red flag would be a man that cannot have a relationship with a woman that isn't based on trying to get in her pants.
Baby, fuck them niggas. And they can't even send you 100 flowers. How you love that nigga? I'm glad you...
So let me see if I have this right. The guy bought the woman flowers, but the woman wasn't satisfied with where the guy bought them. So therefore, she threw the brand new flowers into the trash and made a video about it as an effort to try to shame the guy for buying flowers for her from the wrong store. You know, there are lots of women out there that actually really want flowers and they don't care where they come from. They're actually grateful that their guy remembers them on a daily basis or just does sweet things for them. But apparently it's not enough for some women that those flowers don't come from a certain store. Really? Some women are so petty that they will find any reason to dislike whatever small little token of affection or consideration their guy has for them, simply because they're ungrateful or any other reason just to make a video, I guess.
A lot of these modern women refuse to go 50-50. They refuse. I was listening to Stephen A. The other day, and I think he was doing an interview with him. I want to say Shannon Sharp. And he was talking about all of the things that he brought to the table. And he was like, man, if I'm walking in and I'm having to cook, after all of the things that I bring to the table, I'll take you out to eat. I'll take you out to eat. You know, I'll take you and he started listing off the things that, yeah, I'll do that for you. But if I have to come in after doing all of that and cook, what do I need you for? And that's the thing a lot of men are asking. You don't have any money. I'm still going to ask the same question. If I have to go out there and bust my band, because the work's going to be the same. The work is going to be the same. If I have to go out there, I might not get paid as much as Stephen A. But I put in a lot. I might even put a lot more effort than Stephen A. He might be working in terms of mental. I might be working in terms of physical. The work that I do takes a physical toll on my body. And so if I'm putting my body on the line, he puts his mind on the line or whatever. If we're doing that, but in different ways, we're going to ask the same question. Because the sacrifice is going to be the same. The mental effort, the physical effort is going to be similar. And so I'm going to arrive as a man at the same conclusion. And that's going to be, what is it that you're bringing to the table? I'm telling you, they don't understand. You're going to run into that same question at every level. And the only difference between a man that you think is a lower level and the man that you think is a higher level is that man's going to sit there and look at you. Did I stutter? No.
Not all men. Yes, all men. I'm all in on all men.
Oh, goody.
Because the patriarchy has taught men that they are the most dominant, capable, smartest, and strongest creatures. And women really only serve the function of supporting them.
Tell me, gentlemen, how many of you did receive instruction from the patriarchy on that very subject? I really want to know.
So until men can prove to women that they've educated themselves and deconstructed from that programming, they're going to be kept at arm's length.
Well, that's rather dehumanizing. Comparing men to computers that have been programmed to think in certain ways. Yeah, no.
Those pregnancy rates that keep dropping, they're going to keep going that way. It's not that women aren't fertile, they're just closing their legs to creeps.
Well, this is a novel idea, but women shouldn't be getting with creeps in the first place, but what do I know?
And for those of you who still seem confused about women's outrage over this most recent story of the online community of men who are teaching each other how to f*** their significant others, that's called sleeping with the enemy.
Oh, we're still on that, are we?
If there was even a hint of a couple of women doing this to their husbands, don't you know there would be laws on the book with a penalty on the table in a heartbeat?
Uh-huh.
Men, this is your problem. And since you're so big, strong, and smart and capable, I'm sure you can come up with a solution. You need to talk to each other about this. You need to call each other out.
It comes to my attention that a lot of women don't think that men call each other out. Also, did you know that men don't hang around or associate with men they find creepier to be problematic? Is that a newsflash?
Because if you don't fix this, your bros are going to be the only ones you are talking to. Because that male loneliness epidemic, it doesn't really exist right now, but it can.
You're right about one thing. There is no male loneliness epidemic. A lot of men are just choosing to remain single.
Men who do not but women still directly benefit from the of the men who do.
How so?
The existence of men lowers the standard of behavior for men so low that as a man, all you have to do to be considered a good guy is refrain somewhat.
And that statement is what is known as a hyperbolic statement.
You don't have to actually protect women. You don't have to stand up to your friends who hit their girlfriends. Simply by virtue of not being a direct perpetrator against women yourself, you are considered a saint deserving of special treatment because men have lowered the bar for you.
Well, at least they're getting creative in how they decide to disparage men this time.
What would be considered basic decency for a woman practically qualifies a man for a Nobel Peace.
By that same token, we could actually say that what constitutes a decent woman is only made possible by the acts of terrible women. You see how that sounds?
Women are encouraged to reward men for bare minimum kindness. Most men don't protect women. Most men don't step in when they see a woman being abused. Most men defend their favorite athletes when they're accused of.
I wonder, have they actually had conversations with most men, or is this just an assumption?
That's because these men believe that not being for themselves is enough. 50% of women will experience some form of in their lives, and 95% of these perpetrators are men.
Right, but it's not 95% of men that are the perpetrators. That's the part a lot of individuals keep leaving out.
You've never defended a woman in your life, but because you've never one either, you think that you're God's gift to women.
You know, a lot of women keep saying they don't like men, but yet they can't seem to stop talking about them.
Women are often convinced that they have the world's best husband just because he doesn't scream at her and punch holes in the walls. Never mind that he doesn't know your kid's birthday and has no idea where you keep the vacuum. The fact that he's never slapped you during an argument means Jeff is a total sweetheart. Guys love to get in my comments and say, not all men, not all men, and maybe in the most basic, baby-brained way you might be right.
I wonder, does insulting those that are actually stating factual information actually help to prove the point? Because it is not all men.
Not all men towards women, but all men do benefit from women's abuse.
If that's true, then I'm going to refer back to what I said earlier. The only reason so many women are considered to be good women is because there's a lot of really nasty women out there that make the rest of you look better.
Using logic with women is like speaking words to a monkey.
What?
Oh dear. Somehow I get the feeling that this is not going to go quite as they expected. So, let's play.
They're both.
I find it very interesting that someone that would be talking about using logic actually started out their video using two logical fallacies. Logical fallacy of composition, as well as ad hominem. But I'm sure it gets better.
So in your mind, you're like, okay, I've been texting her for 3 days and, I'm trying to set a date, but she just went ghost. Logic says that she liked me because she's been texting me for these 3 days.
Right. And?
Why did she just stop texting? But women deal from emotions.
Yet another wonderful example of how using generalizations will make the person using them not sound very logical.
Well, she might be feeling really, really good the past 3 days, and then suddenly her tire blew out, and now she's taking it all on the whole world, and now she doesn't want to text you.
This rather sounds like a personal anecdote.
There are a million reasons why women will not respond to your text.
Correct. And the most likely reason is that they probably stumbled across someone's social media account and realized what type of person they were talking to.
If you try to use logic and talk it out with a woman like, oh, why don't you like me? Or, oh, why did you not respond to my text? Or, oh, why haven't you talked to me after our date? It's like literally speaking words to a monkey. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Considering the number of logical fallacies that someone has already used just in this video alone, and I've counted at least 4, I'm really not holding out a lot of hope for someone to be able to actually hold a logical conversation.
Anytime a woman does something that's weird to you, or like, okay, she did something that isn't normal, just look at it like she's dealing from a place of emotions and it has nothing to do with me.
I would actually like to point out the irony of that statement, because not one thing that a certain person has mentioned so far has actually been considered logical. It all sounds like it's coming from a place of emotion.
So when a woman is accused against a man, I am always going to ask what that man did.
Excuse me. But why exactly would anyone be asking the victim why they were abused? I thought we were supposed to believe all victims.
Because it's not enough to simply say, well, if it was a man, we wouldn't ask these questions.
Oh, yes? It absolutely is enough to say that. Because if it was a woman being abused, people would be shamed for asking what exactly she did to deserve to be abused. But apparently, when it's a man who's the victim, there must be a reason.
Well, because men have patriarchal power, right? Like, you can't simply just divorce the power that men have from their behavior and say, well, it's all the same. It's like, well, no, it isn't.
Really? Well, isn't that funny? Because the last time that I checked, this was something that was considered to be not only very wrong, but it's also considered to be a crime. But apparently, as long as the perpetuator of that particular crime is a certain gender, now we ask the criminal why they committed the crime against the victim, and also ask the victim what they did to deserve to be victimized. My goodness, apparently this is only acceptable in the warped reality that some individuals live in, where blatant sexism is perfectly acceptable.
And I think a lot of these modern women aren't really sure what a man actually is. they're not really sure what masculinity is. They're not really sure how to even handle masculinity, to be honest with you. They think they know. They talk about how they know. They talk about what they want. They didn't watch a Hallmark movie somewhere. They didn't read a book somewhere. They didn't go to the movies and seeing some type of romantic comedy or some romantic movie or Twilight reruns or something like that. And they're like, oh shoot, that's the type of love that I want. That's the feeling that I want. The fact of the matter is there is no feeling because that's a movie. They're actors and actresses. So there's most likely no feeling. It's professional. It's fabricated. It's fabricated. Now there has been some instances, I guess a few number of things where you have people that have worked together on set. I think Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie way back when they did Mr. and Miss Smith. Classic, by the way. Well, I like the movie. And then there was one that came out on Amazon. That series was pretty good to me, with Danny Glover and somebody else. Maybe it wasn't Danny Glover. Childish Gambino. Yeah, not Danny Glover. I can't think of his name. But anyway, where, Brad and Angelina got together and obviously they broke up. But, for the most part, that's people with good writing, very good writing, very good imaginations, putting it on screen. Does it happen in some instances? Yes. What they're synthesizing for you in an hour and a half, 2 hours. In the Titanic's case, 3 hours, I think it was. Which back in the day, that was terrible. People actually went to go see that movie 3 hours. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never. But anyway, sorry. Within that time span, what would probably take people 10, 15 years to get to be in sync, in a lot of cases, they're synthesizing for you within like 2 to 3 hours. And they're not really showing you any of the work that has to be done to get there. Modern women don't care about that.